Hi everybody, back again with more Lulu and the Brontosaurus. So when we left off, Lulu was going to sleep at night in the forest, and she's not found a Brontosaurus yet, but she's found three other animals, I think, that got really mad at her for her loud singing. One of them was a snake, the next one was the lady tiger, and the next one was a bear. And then she went to sleep. She kind of outsmarted all of them, got away from them, and got really tired, so she went to bed. Chapter 8 and 1/2. At dawn, Lulu woke up to the sound of birds calling to one another, and the dusky, musky smell of the forest floor, and the feel of a gentle late summer breeze blowing across her face, and the taste, because she hadn't bothered to brush her teeth before bedtime, of yesterday's pickle sandwich. She also woke to the sight of something so huge, so enormous, so utterly gigantic that she thought, no, she was sure, that she was still dreaming. It looked like a mountain, except this mountain had legs, a very long neck, and a very small head. It was, and I'm sure you've already figured out, the Brontosaurus that Lulu had been searching for. Chapter 9. Lulu closed, then opened, then closed, then opened her eyes again and decided she wasn't dreaming after all. She quickly climbed out of her sleeping bag and announced to the Brontosaurus, "It's my birthday today, and just in time, I found you." "No, I found you," the Brontosaurus told Lulu, "and I'd like to wish you a very happy birthday." "Oh, it will be a very happy birthday," Lulu said to the Brontosaurus, "because you," she patted his ankle because his ankle was as high as she could reach, "you are the pet I'm getting for my birthday." The Brontosaurus bent down his neck so his face was close to Lulu's. He looked at her back to front and head to toes, sniffing at her carefully with his Brontosaurus nose and making a rumbling noise. Nobody knows how dinosaurs sound, but in my story they rumble. And slowly nodding his pin-headed head. "A pet," he said to Lulu after he nodded for a while, "is a very good thing." "A very, very good thing," Lulu replied. She opened up her suitcase and went digging around inside and pulled out a white leather collar, which she fastened around the Brontosaurus's neck. "Now I'll just attach this leash," and she dug some more and found a long, long leash in her suitcase, "and take you home with me." Lulu attached the leash to the collar, feeling so pleased with herself that she sang a whole new Brontosaurus song. I got it, I got what I wanted to get, a Brontosaurus for a pet. I got it, I got what I wanted to get, a Brontosaurus for a pet. She would have kept feeling pleased with herself, except now the Brontosaurus was shaking his head, and now in his rumbling voice he was saying no. He was saying no and shaking his head till the collar and the leash flew off. "No," he said, "I don't wish to be your pet." Now Lulu, remember, hated hearing no. She really, really hated hearing no. She screeched till all the birds fled from the trees, and then she threw herself down on the forest floor, and then she kicked her heels and waved her arms. The Brontosaurus waited patiently, without saying one more word, until she stopped with the screeching and stopped with the kicking and the waving. "Finished now?" he said politely. "Maybe I am," said Lulu, "and maybe I'm not. It all depends." And here she shook a finger right in the Brontosaurus's face. This girl was a pain, but she wasn't a scaredy cat. "It all depends on whether you stop saying no and start saying yes to being my pet." The Brontosaurus shook his head no some more. Lulu thought about screeching and so forth some more, but instead she said in a very snippy voice, "Now listen here. You were the one who said to me just a minute ago that and I quote, a pet is a very good thing." "That's what I said," the Brontosaurus admitted. "So "What," Lulu asked, "is your problem, Mr. B?" "No problem," he answered, "just some misunderstanding. Because when I said that a pet is a very good thing, I didn't mean I wanted to be your pet. I meant that you would be a very good pet for me." Chapter 10. Lulu's eyes were two round O's of amazement. She tried to speak, but at first no words came out. Then finally she was able to say in a squeaky, amazed kind of voice, "I don't think I heard what I think I just heard, Mr. B." "You did indeed," the Brontosaurus replied. "Well, if I did," Lulu's voice was back to being its old bossy self again. "Well, if I did, I've got some news for you. A person has a pet. An animal is a pet. A person can't ever be an animal's pet, ever." "And I have some news for you," the Brontosaurus said to Lulu, except that he spoke more politely than Lulu had done. "You're about to be the first person ever to be an animal's pet. Congratulations. And once again, happy birthday." He reached out a hand, or whatever you want to call it, and gently scooped Lulu off the forest floor, and then he plunked her gently down where his back met his neck. "Hold on tight, little pet," he said to Lulu. "I'll pull off some leaves from the tops of the trees for your breakfast, and then I'm taking you home to live with me." "No!" yelled Lulu. "No, no, no! A billion zillion times no!" "Yes, yes, yes," the Brontosaurus replied. "I'll feed you and pat you and play with you and treat you very nicely. And all I'll expect from you is to sit and roll over and fetch a ball and do cute tricks." What did he think she was, some kind of dog girl? I really don't know. I can't read a dinosaur's mind. Lulu thought about screeching and throwing herself on the forest floor, except the forest floor was a long way down. She thought about squeezing the dinosaur dead, except that she needed both hands to hang onto his neck. She thought about swinging her suitcase and bonking him on the head, except that she'd left her suitcase under a tree. She couldn't stomp on his foot because his feet were far too from his neck, where he'd plumped her. Then Lulu started to think that the only thing farther from where the Brontosaurus had plunked her was her home where her mom and her dad were waiting, her very own home where no one, not even when she was being a pain, which was most of the time, had ever expected her to sit and roll over and fetch and do cute tricks. "I want to go home to my house," Lulu told the Brontosaurus, and then added in a lot less bossier voice, "Please let me go back to my house, Mr. B." This was maybe the very first time in Lulu's entire life that she, without being told, had ever used the P word. And yet the Brontosaurus shook his head no. "Once you get used to it," he kindly told Lulu, "I truly believe that you will like being a pet." Lulu imagined being a pet in a house of this Brontosaurus and never seeing her mom or her dad again. She imagined eating leaves and doing cute tricks. And she said to herself that if only she could turn today into yesterday, she wouldn't go looking for dinosaurs in the forest, and she wouldn't say "foo on you" to her mom and dad. She was feeling especially sorry that she had ever said "foo on you" to her mom and dad. We're going to stop there. The next chapter is chapter 11. See you next time.